Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, Uniting Our Services Under One Shared Identity webinar and customizing your materials. I hope that this will be a great webinar for you to answer some of your questions. We have over 200 participants right now participating on the call. And now I will pass it to Lisa.
Thank you, Anna. So today we're going to summarize what we learned last week and then jump into customizing your new branded materials. We will also address the questions that came up during last week's webinar. As a reminder, please submit any questions in the chat feature and we will address them in the next webinar. This webinar will be recorded and posted in the Training Resources section on calfreshhealthyliving.org. If you have any questions about your new materials, please reach out to support@calfreshunited.com. For any other program-related questions, please reach out to CalFresh Healthy Living at dss.ca.gov. So last week we learned about CalFresh, one shared identity. We developed a centralized and comprehensive statewide system of the CalFresh brand and messages to organize the programs and services offered to Californians. This branded system serves our shared vision, better access to better food for better living in California by uniting our services under one shared identity. On this slide, you will see all of our services across food benefits, nutrition education, employment and training, and disaster response, and how the new names and logos are different from what they were previously. Last week, we learned that by making the connection between these services clear, we help Californians recognize all of the support that is available to them, and we increase the collective impact of our work across the entire state. This will build the value and trust of CalFresh while allowing messages around programs and services to reinforce each other to deliver clear and actionable information to low-income Californians. Now let's jump into your new branded materials. The next few video examples that you are about to see are not actual events, and the text is just to serve as examples of titles, text, and images. In addition to this webinar being recorded and posted online, written step-by-step instructions for all of these examples for your materials will be posted so you can refer back to them as needed. As a friendly reminder, all of your materials live on calfreshhealthyliving.org on the Partners page. Your toolkits and training resources live on the links in the 3 colored boxes. The box to the left is for all CalFresh Healthy Living toolkit materials. The middle box is where all webinar material and instructional documents will be housed. And the box on the right is for the other brand toolkits. All you have to do is click on the links to download your materials. Here is a demonstration video on how to customize a simple branded Microsoft Word document, which you can find in the folder labeled Templates in your toolkits. This is one of 3 types of templates that we will go over today. The Microsoft Word templates are the simplest of the 3 and are meant for simple, concise messages. You can still fully customize them to make them your own. And if you would like a template with more design, you can use the flyer handout templates that will be covered next. You will see this template document is for CalFresh Food, but as a reminder, we have developed templates for all of the brands. You can see the CalFresh Food brand colors are at the bottom of this document in the footer, along with the correct logo, space to add partner logos, and a funder statement. You will notice that there is an allocated space for a header. A header can be useful for internal documents if you want the same header on each page. But for this example, I'll delete it as I'm creating an external facing document and I've added a title of my own. As a reminder, the information entered in this example is fictional and not an actual event. To delete the header, simply double-click in the header box, highlight the placeholder text, and delete. As you are adding text to your document, you can use black text. But if you want to change the colors, you can use the color drop-down list, or you can use the dropper tool to capture the brand colors. We strongly encourage you to stick with the brand colors if you choose to change the text color. In this example, I want to use the CalFresh Food red color. So I double-clicked the footer to open it, and I clicked the More Colors option in the color drop-down list. I used the dropper tool, and I hovered it over the color I wanted to use. I hovered it over the red in the footer, and now that color is saved in my palette here in Recent Colors. If you want to add a picture, click Insert, Picture, Picture from File. Make sure you have the picture you want to use saved clearly so that you can recognize it when you browse for it. Once you have your picture on the template, you can drag the corners of the image inwards and outwards to resize it. The text in the template is simply placeholder text. Feel free to delete it like I just did and add whatever you like. A font size minimum of 12 is always recommended. Here I'm entering the body text on my document. Again, this is fully up to you how you want to customize it. You can add as little or as much text as you want. Once I am done adding text, I will add a partner logo in the footer. When I'm ready to add my first partner logo, I'm going to double-click on the footer so that I can edit inside it. You always need to do this whether you edit in the header or the footer. Then I will right-click on the first partner logo box and click Change Picture. After this, I select the logo of my choosing, which is clearly saved on my computer, and it will automatically appear in that box. You can drag the corners of the logo image to adjust the sizing if needed. If you do not want a second logo in the second partner logo box, feel free to delete it. You just simply need to right-click Delete. If you want to keep it, you follow the same steps to add a second logo, as shown here. And this concludes our video for customizing a Word document. Now we will learn how to customize a flyer/handout template. These are similar to the Word documents, but they have more detail and design. They already include brand colors, room for partner logos, and funder statements. There are multiple options in your toolkits that include things like tables, bursts, horizontal formats, and more. There are also options without spaces for partner logos. First, you can see I'm adding a title, and I've adjusted the font size because I want the whole title to fit on one line. When you add a subtitle, make sure to keep it on the shorter side as a best practice. You don't want the subtitle to go to the end of the page. The current layout of this template in this video is great for listing a set of items on a schedule, like classes or upcoming events. In the last webinar, we displayed an example that the Orange County Market made in which they used this template for a residential program. They used the template to list contact information, food programs, and knowledge resources. Here I'm using it to list a schedule of classes. As a reminder, if at any point you would like to see step-by-step instructions for using these documents, they will be posted this week in the training resources section on calfreshhealthyliving.org. That way, You can utilize this visual demonstration as well as use written instructions. We are here to support you every step of the way and make this process seamless and comfortable. If you do not want to use all of the text in the template or some of the bullets, you can delete them. You should make the template work for you, for your needs and your information. You can see here that I'm deleting the bullets that I do not need. I decided I wanted to add times to my classes, and I was able to simply add a new row under each section. The template is preset to have the CalFresh Healthy Living purple as a text color here, but you're not obligated to stick with that. You can change it to black or use the dropper tool that was demonstrated earlier if you want a different color that is already on the template, like the green in the header here. More details on specific brand color numbers can be found in the brand guidelines. The image in this template is a placeholder. You can keep it or you can change it. To change the picture, right-click on the image and click Change Picture. Make sure you have clearly saved an image on your computer so that you can locate it easily when you swap them out. Once you have your image, you can drag the corners of it inward or outward to adjust the size. Lastly, to add a partner logo in the footer, I first double-clicked the footer to be able to edit inside it. I right-click on the first partner logo box and click Change Picture, and then select the logo, which I have saved on my computer. The logo will automatically appear in that box, and you can drag the corners of the image to adjust the size as you need. And this concludes our video for how to customize a flyer or handout template. Next, we will learn how to customize a PowerPoint presentation. We have developed branded PowerPoint templates for all of your presentation needs, internal and external. They showcase the brand colors and include different text layouts as well as opportunities to add partner logos for any co-branding needs. When you click the View tab in the orange ribbon at the top of the window, a toolbar will open where you can select how you want to view the slides. If you want to change any of the preset slide formats, click Slide Master. You don't have to change these if you don't want to. We provided a multitude of layout options to suit your needs. Once you are ready to edit the slides in your preferred layout, make sure you click on View and then Normal. To add text, begin typing in the boxes that are preset on the slides, as shown here. If you want to add your own text box, you simply click Insert and then Text Box, and you can drag and draw the box to your desired size. To change the font color, if you want to use a different color than what is on the slide, click on the A symbol icon as I've done here. The colors that pop up have been already preset to reflect the CalFresh branding colors. Please stick with these as much as possible and refer to ADA compliance guidelines when putting font on slides. When you click the Insert button on the orange ribbon, you have the option to insert items such as a picture, image, shape, and more. To insert an image, click on the icon for pictures and choose a file that you have saved on your computer for easy access. Drag the corners of the image to resize it however you would like. Feel free to play around with the size of the text boxes near the image to get the desired spacing between the text and the image or images. And as a reminder, we have developed PowerPoint templates for each of the brands, but the one shown here is for CalFresh Disaster Response. They all reflect the appropriate brand colors. To insert a table in this template, click on the table icon in the text box. A prompt will appear to input the desired number of rows and columns. Once this is set, you can change the color of the table based on the preset brand colors above. Once you begin adding text in the table, feel free to play around with the font size, as well as the height and width of the columns and rows to make sure everything fits, as you can see here. If you want to add, delete, or duplicate a slide, all you need to do is right-click on the slide and select the option you want. Here I was able to delete a slide and start a new section. If you want to add a partner logo in the footer of your slides next to the CalFresh logo, make sure you save the logo on your computer with a clear title so it's easy to find. Then you click Insert in the orange ribbon. Click Picture and Browse from File. Once you have selected the logo image that you saved, drag it down next to the CalFresh logo in the footer of the slide. The partner logo always needs to be to the right of the CalFresh logo. You can then adjust the size of the logo by dragging the corners of the box inwards or outwards. Once the size is appropriate, click the top left square in the row of images under Picture Format. This will give the image a white background if it doesn't have one already, so it doesn't get lost in the color of the footer. There are other options in the carousel under Picture Format should you want to further customize the logo appearance. Feel free to click each one to find your desired option. When you are ready to play your presentation, you will need to click Slideshow in the orange ribbon. Once you click Slideshow, select Play from Start. The icons in the Slideshow drop-down list allow you to customize the timing of the slides, record the presentation, hide the slides, and more. So this concludes our video for how to customize PowerPoint presentations. The Word documents, the flyer templates, and the PowerPoint templates are the 3 types of templates that have been provided to you in your toolkits. We recommend any and all feedback on these, and we are here for you as we work to optimize them to best suit your needs. Now we're going to address questions that we heard in last week's webinar. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions, as they're very helpful when we gauge feedback. Question number 1. Are we here at CDPH, SnapEd, NEOP going to be required to use the new branding? Yes, please do, as SnapEd is now CalFresh Healthy Living. They ask, you see us when you go to calfresh.dss.ca.gov/healthyliving/home, you see a CDPH logo and a CalFresh Healthy Living. But when you click on CDPH, it takes you to Champions for Change. So the Champions for Change website is currently in the process of a rebrand. This will occur in May, and the URL will be changed shortly after to reflect this rebrand as well. So everything will be aligned. Question number 2. Does the new email address, calfreshhealthyliving@dss.ca.gov, Replace the established CalFresh snaped@dss.ca.gov email address for overall technical assistance needs? Yes, it does. But if you have specific questions about your materials, you can also reach out to support@calfreshunited.com. Question number 3, do I need to change my signature block? Yes, please use the new logo. We strongly encourage you to use a new branding as much as possible, especially when you order new materials. Next question, question number 4. How does this new branding relate to MyPlate materials? Given that MyPlate is a resource from USDA, these resources are not currently being rebranded. Please continue to use whatever MyPlate materials you currently use as is. Question number 5. There is a scheduled webinar on May 8th. Did you realize it conflicts with the statewide day of action, Rethink Your Drink Day, occurring the same day? Thank you for pointing this out, and we have rescheduled the next webinar for May 7th at 1:15 p.m., and this is a Tuesday. I will now turn it back over to Anna to wrap up our webinar and give you all a few more minutes back in your day.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. Thank you, Alisa, for a very informative webinar. So we hope to see more of you participating on the May 7th webinar. We hope that this was incredibly helpful. Have a great afternoon. Thank you.